Today we're starting our introduction to fractions. Fractions are just a way to compare a part to a whole. If we have 3 greens and 4 reds, that means we have a total of 7. If we want to write a fraction using this information, say we want to write the fraction, what fraction of the group is green, then you simply take the part you're talking about and put it over top of the whole, which would mean 3/7 are green. 3 out of a total of 7 are green. Here's some fraction vocabulary that we need to know. The first thing we need to know are what the parts of a fraction are called. The top number in a fraction is the numerator. That is always going to be talking about the part. The top, the numerator, always the part. The second vocabulary word you need to know is denominator. Denominator is the bottom number, and that is always the whole. How many pieces or things are there all together? So it is always parts over whole, numerator over denominator. Here we have the fraction 2/3. 2 is your numerator, 3 is your denominator, which means whatever we're talking about, there was 3 total, and we're only talking about 2 of them. Fractions of a set. Here's our set. We have 3 red, 4 purple, for a total of 7. We want to write what fraction of this set is red, which means we'll write how many red pieces are there over how many pieces are there altogether. We just said there were 3 red pieces and 7 total pieces. So to write our fraction of reds, it would be 3/7, or 3/7. What about fractions that are not red? Again, we would take how many of our pieces are not red. Well, whatever's purple is not red. There are 4 purples, which means we have 4 that are not red and 7 total. So our fraction will be 4/7, or 4/7. Fractions of a rectangle. When we're looking at a rectangle and we're talking about fractions, all of these sections have to be equal. They have to be the same size. What fraction is shaded? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces altogether. 2 of them are shaded. Again, we do the part we're talking about, 2 shaded pieces, over the total amount of parts, 5 pieces altogether, meaning 2/5 are shaded. Fractions of a circle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces altogether. So we know that no matter what we do with this circle, whatever fraction we're talking about, the denominator will always be 8 every single time, because that's how many pieces there are altogether. So it will always be part over whole, and in this case, our whole will always be 8. So let's look at fractions of blue. What fraction of this circle is blue? So we already know that there's 8 pieces altogether, so we already know that our denominator will be 8. All we have to do is find out how many pieces of my whole are blue. Count them. 1, 2. That is my numerator, which means 2/8 of the circle is blue. Let's look at green. What fraction of my circle is green? Again, we know the denominator will be 8. The numerator will be however many pieces are green. There is 1 green piece. 1/8 of our circle is green. Fractions red. Count the reds. 1, 2, 3. 3 parts are red out of 8 total. And last, fractions of purple. 1, 2 purple over a denominator of 8. We're going to look at fractions in one other way. look at fractions on a number line. A fraction is a part of a whole. If we talk about half, that means we have a whole of something and we take half of it away. Well, you can also find numbers or fractions on a number line. Let's start with the top number line. If we divide our whole numbers into sections of 2, so I have 1, 2 sections here, 1, 2 sections here, 1, 2 sections here. When I go from here to here, I have gone 1 section out of a total of 2 sections, which gives me the fraction 1/2. And you'll see I'm also halfway between 0 and 1. If I go the next step, I have now gone 1, 2 places out of 2. Whenever you have the same number over itself, that is always going to give you the whole number. All right? Now, since we have all of these places divided into 2, our bottom number every time has to be 2. And our top number is going to be how many total places we've gone. So far we've gone 2 places. So we've gone 1, 2, 3. If we go one more place, we have now gone 3 places, which means this spot on the number line is 3 over 2. If we go here, we are at 4 over 2. If we go here, we have now gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. And we go one more, we've gone 6 places. Now, the reason the bottom is not going to change as we go along is because we have only divided each number into 2 groups. All right, let's look down here, and this time we're going to divide it into 3 groups. So 1, 2. I now have 1, 2, 3 sections. And I'm going to go ahead and do that down here and down here. All right, so again, if I go one place, I've gone 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Now I know my handwriting looks very bad here, but please bear with me. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I've got to 4 out of 3, 5 out of 3, 6, 3, 7 over 3, 8 over 3, 9 over 3. Okay? On this last number line, we're going to divide into fourths this time. So we're going to divide each section 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your job is to draw this number line, and I want you to show me what each of these spots is going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and do the first one for you. If I go 1 space, and this is divided into 4 sections, that's going to put me at 1 over 4. You go ahead and label the rest and bring it to class with you tomorrow.